Hello and welcome to the Mr. Podcast. My name is Trey Stewart. This is my very handsome co-host and husband, Zach Luker.
Did that?
Stewart. Oh, that did sound weird. You know what?
I feel
told
like you
Jordan,
almost said fiancé again.
I know I did. Yesterday I said something to Jordan and I was like, I have to ask my husband. I was like, that's interesting.
So cute.
I know. Okay, so today we're going to all take a moment to pray for our marriage because we're going to go over the wedding budget. I told Zach this morning that I went through and itemized out what we spent on our wedding because I like to know what people spend on things, and I will shamelessly ask them because that is knowledge I feel like no one gave us. Like, you can get like a ballpark, but it's just all over the place. But I like to see something and know how much it costs. Same thing when we were buying our house. I was like, what are closing costs? And everyone's like, well, and no one could give me an answer, not even our lender, until 3 days before we closed on the house. So I just like to know, I saw something. How much was that? So we're going to share with you today what our wedding costs versus what we budgeted for the wedding.
And I'd like everybody to know that when we say we, Trey means he. The only things that I purchased for the wedding were the little drink stirs, the koozies, the invitations, and the save the dates. I did not have anything to do with the decor, nor the flowers, nor anything else. So you also picked the resort. You also made 65, 70% of the guest list. So when shots start getting fired, I just want everybody to know that
Zach likes me being in charge of our budget when we're over budget. But Zach likes being in charge of the budget when it's within his realm of
doesn't exist.
What he's All right, so Zach, I just want to ask you first, what do you think we spent on the wedding? And I'm talking when I was initially making this list, I was going to the whole, what does it cost? What did it cost me to keep you? From engagement to I do, what was that? And then I cut out the engagement stuff.
Okay, I was like, well, I don't know what that is.
Because I won't count that against you. Initially, I was going to. But what do you think Mexico cost?
All right, rough math here. $210 a person, 70 people. I gotta get a calculator.
No, just give me a number. Just give me a number.
I'm gonna go with 60.
Why do you think it was 60,000?
Was I right?
Josh, do you feel like 60,000 is a reasonable amount of money to spend on a wedding?
I think, well, if we are talking to our Cheers to That crowd, they thought 100,000 was good. So I'm going to say...
No, that was Whitney Rose that said that,
Whitney
right?
Whitney Rose,
yeah.
Apologies. But
yes.
Whitney Rose, 100 grand is great.
Well, yeah, but she had 900 people at her wedding.
Yeah, I would say that's a bit high. I'm gonna go 40.
What do you think, seeing our wedding, and some photos, what do you think it cost? 40?
I would say 40.
Okay.
Yeah, 40 is where I'm at.
I'm going to break it down for you now. So
does this include our hotel room too?
Yep, sure does.
Okay. I don't know. I saw one bill. So yeah, I'm sticking with 60.
Okay. All right. So the wedding venue. So we got married at Marquis Los Cabos. By the way, we're doing this because I've gotten a lot of questions about this. If you don't care to know how much you spent, you can skip to the next episode.
But
wedding
you should stay and listen because we're kind of funny.
But some people don't like to hear how much things cost, So if you don't want to hear how much it costs, we'll see you next week. But if you want to know, and I know you're a little bit curious, here you go. The wedding itself that the wedding venue charges, that's like a venue fee, they call it the Say I Do package, was $1,880. Now, that included a lot. That included an officiant, that included the wedding altar decorated and draping, a flower bouquet or flower boutonniere for the wedding couple, romantic turn-down service the night before, whatever, a 50-minute couples massage. That would have normally cost us $500, which I learned I do not like couples massages. That stressed me out. Access
we'll dive
to
into that later.
Access to the getting ready suite. There's no real value there.
Not to us. I feel like to some.
Complimentary room for one member of the wedding couple the night before the ceremony. We didn't use that, and I feel like they should have given us a free room.
They were sold
the
out
night before. Okay. Round trip airport transportation for the bridal couple, and then a late checkout. They were supposed to bring us breakfast in bed. They didn't do that.
That's okay.
Oh, and then a symbolic wedding cake. So it was just it was actually a pretty big cake. I was quite surprised.
It was a big cake.
It was like a 2-tier. I mean, it could have fed what, 50 people maybe?
Yeah, I feel like
Quite a bit.
everybody would have gotten everything.
And
it
then
was
that
fun,
also
Fetty.
includes your tables, your chairs, your glassware, and non-floral centerpieces, as well as a champagne toast. And it was good champagne. It wasn't cheap champagne. It was like $50 a bottle. I forgot what the brand was, but it was like, that was for every person there. So that is what we spent on the venue. That's really good. That I'm going to say worth the value. Now let's move on to the welcome party.
Now remember, that was basically just ceremony.
Yep,
theoretically.
That was
Well,
for
I mean-
us to have our wedding there. That was the fee we paid
Correct.
in order to have
I
our
guess
wedding
it technically was the
there.
reception too, but
Yeah.
there's more to that.
Right. Now, we did a welcome party. That was 2 days before our wedding. So let me go through some of the rentals that we purchased for that and kind of tell you if they were worth it or not.
Which also, keep in mind, this would have costed us money, but the rentals cost us money, but the party itself would have costed us money. However, we did work with
Cost us, I think is the correct way to say that.
Thank you, Miss Stewart. Miss Luker Stewart. Anywho, wow, train derailment now.
So they would have normally
yes, we
charged like a
negotiated this.
$45 per person fee, and we negotiated that we're not paying that, and that's just included in our whole thing because we guaranteed so many rooms. So that we got knocked out, but we did pay for some rentals. This was supposed to be the beach. Last second, we had to move it up to the Sunset Terrace because the tide was too high. So we spent $878 on the lounge set. That was not worth it.
Yeah, okay.
One group sat there. Everyone
I'll
else
give you
stood at
that.
the cocktail
I'll give you
tables.
that. I'll give you that.
Then we paid $330 for cocktail tables. What I did not realize was that the hotel was providing cocktail tables as well. So then we had 2 different style cocktail tables. I think that was maybe the one thing. It was nice because they provided more than we thought they were going to provide. But had we known they were going to provide that, I wouldn't have paid $330 for tables. But they really just weren't like incredibly clear.
I didn't even notice that.
There were 2 different tables?
Yeah.
I'm shocked you didn't notice that.
I'm shocked.
We were also a little drunk.
Yeah, it was also, yeah.
When we did our photos, the ones that we've like posted on Instagram so far of like just us, we were like not there. Like we got ready maybe, I don't know, 8 minutes before, and we were like, we have photos right now, and just stumbled downstairs.
Yeah,
and
I think I went and woke you up. I think you took a nap, and I was like, well, I'm not going to go to sleep because if I go to sleep, it's over.
Yeah.
Which did happen for a couple people.
But they turned out great.
Yeah. But
turned out great.
I mean, hey, I didn't even notice, but I'm looking back at pictures now, and now I'm noticing, and
So
it was good enough that I didn't notice.
We also paid for lanterns because this was supposed to be on the beach, like to sit around the bar and like all that stuff, which I don't even know if those were there. I didn't really pay attention to those. We paid $285 for. And then here's where they get you with rentals. Okay, just for that party, setup and strike cost us $340.60. Delivery and pickup is $204.36. And then taxes were $359.96. They just bend you over and just take you to town on those fees. Because like, I'm not gonna set it up. So they really they kind of get you there because there's no other way around that. And then we had an audio system, and then we didn't have a DJ. We just had someone like playing the playlist. That was $461. Okay, here's a big one. I did not realize how much this cost until I added in the labor and taxes on this one. Fairy lights. It's a very popular option when you're on the beach. It's basically all these little lights. They cost, $4 to buy a string of them on Amazon, and they have about 200 of them in a row. That cost us $1,695. I'm going to say that one was not worth it.
Well, okay. For the price, maybe not. However, they looked really good, and I heard several people talk about them.
Well, I'm glad.
That was one of those things. So, sidebar for a moment. If this had been a stateside wedding, that would have been something that we would have just purchased ourselves.
For sure.
That's like the worst part about
it was
events.
very
is like it's
easy
always
to
cheaper to actually buy.
Absolutely.
Like those lanterns were like $15 a piece
at Home Goods.
Right. Well, no, like that was the rental charge was $15 a piece.
But they were also $15 at Home Goods.
Right. Or I could go to At Home or Hobby Lobby and get them for 50% off, and yeah.
All right, so I just want to just check in real quick. Where do you think we're at so far with what I've listed?
Well, I was keeping tabs, but then
Well, I don't want you to keep tabs. I want you.
So we're at 5.
No, we're at $6,433.92.
That's 5 to me.
Okay. All right. Now let's go into florals. So we're heading to the ceremony here. Florals were something we were not gonna do until I started inquiring, and they weren't as expensive as I thought. And honestly, they were all worth it.
Yeah,
They were
absolutely.
all worth it. Everyone we talked to beforehand at the resort was like, ugh, the florals are so expensive. I want to go back real quick to the venue fee. So all of the chairs and tables and everything that is included in that venue package, they rented from our rental company. So I don't know what kind of price they were paying, but it was not what we were paying, because we had 70 chairs would have cost probably an extra $1,000. And you know what? The rental company was still trying to charge me for chairs. They were trying to like upgrade our chairs. And I was like, no, I don't want upgraded chairs. They got to sit their butts there for 30 minutes and they got to smile and look at me. And then we get to go downstairs and drink. So we did not upgrade the chairs, and they were very nice chairs.
They were very nice chairs. And they even went through, and man, my OCD heart was so happy when they had a rope out or a string or something like that, and they were literally pulling it tight and then putting every chair up to the rope, so they were in a perfect line. It was amazing.
Zach walked up and he was just like, it's all going to be okay now.
It is.
It was good. All right, so our floral arch. This was probably the biggest focal point of our ceremony. And I was like, these are the pictures that like we're going to probably hang on the wall. Let's spend a little money on the ceremony, because before we were dedicating all the money to the reception. So that floral arch, Josh, how much do you think that was? It was a 8-foot arch, fully covered in white flowers and greenery.
Okay, I'm gonna go like $3,000 on that one.
$1,428.57.
Okay, so half.
Not bad.
Not bad.
That was
Yeah.
so. When I started getting quotes on florals, I was like, oh.
And they were real, and they smelled nice.
They smelled nice, and then I had them disassemble it for Curtis's proposal. But we also had them move that down to the reception area once we were done. So that was $1,428.57. That's not bad, because if you think about how much a flower arrangement costs, do that 8 feet tall all the way around times 3. It's
it was very plush.
Then we did a white aisle runner. That was $225.56. That's a lot for some carpet, but I would say that was worth it. 8 centerpieces. These were very simple centerpieces. They were like green palm leaves. Some were bigger than others, some were smaller, but it was a total of 6 pieces per table. So it kind of spread out across the table. Those were $142 a piece. We could have made that cheaper.
Table?
Per table. We could have made that cheaper, but also I felt like that wasn't terrible. So we spent a total of $1,142.88 on those. And then for our sweetheart table, added this like the very last second. Like I would say when we were on the plane headed to Mexico, I was like, do we have anything on the sweetheart table? And then I realized we didn't. So we spent another $375 on that arrangement. It was an 8-foot long, like really pretty, like draped rose arrangement, like long. I don't know how to explain it, but it was really pretty. Once I get all the photos back, I'll send them to you. And then the labor to move the flower arch. What?
You'll send them to him?
Oh, I'll post it. Whatever. The labor to move the flower arch. This is kind of highway robbery. Was $195.
Yeah,
that's a lot, but
that's a little high.
Whatever. Delivery and pickup for all the florals was $317.20. I didn't ask them to pick them up. They could have left them. I paid for them until they die. And then setup and strike was $475.80. I will say, though, they did make the flower arch there, and that took them a long time, and it was also cool to watch them make that. Taxes for all that was $665. That's a lot. Zach, where do you think we're at now? So where we're at is the venue fee, the welcome party, and the ceremony.
13?
You keep underguessing. It's $11,259.
So I overguessed there.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Which means you're going to be like, wow, I was in budget at the end. Okay, any hoodle.
Y'all heard it.
And then ceremony audio. This was nice. So they did not charge us for the actual audio system at the ceremony. They just charged us for the technician, which was $70 for an hour. mind you, all of this stuff we negotiated too. Like, if you are in the middle of wedding contracts, do not sign anything without negotiating it first. There is always a way. Most of these,
You can send it to me.
Most of these rates that we got, I would put everything in there that we wanted, that I knew we absolutely wanted. And they would send me, a quote. It was like $8,500. I'm like, we love all this. We want to somehow achieve this look, but for $6,500. And they would find a way.
Yeah,
or they'll
always
just
always go with everything that you could never imagine of, and then if you need to, strip away, because the more you add on, then and even in some cases you could pay change fees.
Yeah, and the less negotiation power you have.
So do your full vision, and then pull away as needed.
All right, so here's the big boy. So wedding reception, dinner, and alcohol. So we were in an all-inclusive resort, but that does not mean that our wedding was all-inclusive. At some resorts, it is that way. That was kind of why we wanted to do an all-inclusive resort, but, whatever. So we paid $205 a person. This was one thing they would not negotiate on at all. They were not budging on this. So we had 68 guests. So for 68 guests, for the food and unlimited alcohol, I say unlimited, but they definitely ran out of things. We paid $13.
It was kind of weird because they would run out, but then 20 minutes later you would see it. They're like, oh no, wait, we have none. And then you would see it again. But
I'm like, how?
But it was also they had like Grey Goose, and they had nice liquors there too.
Yes, they did. So that was $13,940. Honestly, that's not bad. That's not bad, because you're going to pay.
The food was amazing.
The food was great. It was a 4-course meal. Premium alcohol. You're going to pay a lot more. You're probably going to pay double that if we did that in the United States.
Oh, yeah. But that also, outside of even just the food and the alcohol, that was one dedicated server per table.
Yeah.
That was one dedicated server for us, 2 bartenders, bar
4
back.
bartenders.
Oh, was it 4? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little drunk.
So, when we had Stephanie on, she said they spent $30,000 on the alcohol bill for their wedding alone. So we spent half that on both. That's pretty good. The disco balls.
So great.
The disco balls were a moment, and they were worth every penny. The rental on those was $1,150. Worth it. That was a big impact moment.
And remind me, how many of those did you rent?
What do you mean?
Didn't you say they added more?
I didn't count them, but I think they did. And that was the nice thing about all these companies, is if they came out and they put it up and they were like, this needs something else, they added it. They just kind of did it and didn't say anything about it. Same thing with the lighting people. They were wonderful. They just if they felt like it needed something more, they added something more. Like, we did not pay for motion lights, but the guy was like, you kind of need motion lights, and he added them. So
yeah, even the white spotlights for the dances and for dinner. One of my big concerns was we washed out our area and resort all in pink, and I was like, well, I don't want everybody eating in just pink, because that's good.
But it made for great photos.
But it did. And so everything was pink, but then there were also enough white lights still that you could still see, and it was great.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So, all right, we also had a lounge set at the reception. I was against the lounge sets all along. Zachary was like, people need to sit somewhere. I was like, they can sit when they get to their room. We paid $918 for that. I did not see one person sit on it.
I don't even remember where it was.
It was over by the DJ booth area. Well, so that was a waste of money. The table runners, chargers, and these mirrored vases. That kind of went with our whole theme of disco ball and pink. So that came out to $688. We were short 8 chargers from what I initially asked for. I initially asked for 60, but we had 68 people. And they brought extra, but the lady freaked out. She was like, hey, I need you to pay me an extra $65 for the chargers. And I was like, oh, no problem. I'll send it to you tomorrow. I'm just not going to do it right now. And she panicked the next day that I had not paid yet. And I was like, you think I'm not good for $68? What? Huh?
I just got married. Chill.
We were fine. It got handled. That setup and strike on that was $406. Delivery and pickup was $324, and then taxes were $550. So right there, you got an extra $1,200 out of fees. Aren't those cute? All right, all that said, Zach, where do you think we're at now?
30.
We're at $37,058.55.
Oh, okay.
37?
Wait, let's.
Yeah, the math's not mathing.
Let's do some math there. I just want to double make sure, because I thought we were also.
Oh, wait.
30.
My Excel spreadsheet's wrong. Hold on. Please come back.
It's also not Excel.
Okay. We're actually now at $29,306.95. Dang it. Okay, here's a big one. Here's one that I was complaining about ahead of time. 100% worth every penny. We had 8 hours of photography and 4 hours of videography.
Yeah, you were like not having it. You were like, what? We can get the cheapest package for like $500 and get 25 photos and we'll be fine. And we don't need a drone and we don't need this and we don't need this.
Our photographer was wonderful.
Will forever be.
I did not see him. His name's Ludico. If you're going to Cabo, you need a photographer recommendation. I will absolutely send you one.
Somebody messaged me yesterday and
incredible.
They were like, how's the resort and how's the photographer? And I was like, resort's great. Photographer, just paragraphs. I was like, yeah, so good.
Amazing. Like I feel like I didn't see him.
I didn't either.
A ton, but
I didn't see him just like I didn't see the lounge sets.
He was running. He was moving. Like all of our guests were like, your photographer was amazing. So Ludo, you knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah, and
worth every penny.
He posted a preview photo on his Instagram story yesterday, and I was like, wow, he captured that moment. It was amazing.
It was great.
I'm waiting for the photos.
So we had him for 2 hours at our welcome party, as well as 6 hours day of the wedding. So that, for 2 photographers, came out to $5,092, including taxes. That's really not bad.
That as a photographer that has done many a wedding, that is well under budget.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I've seen a $15,000 tab for wedding photography.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, and that was video. I mean, there were what? Well, at the welcome party, there's only one. But then at the wedding, there were 2 videographers
and 2
photographers plus him,
and then a
drone guy. So there were 6. Yeah.
So for 4 hours of videography, we paid $1,809.60. Yeah, I'll tell you, the photos where we were like a little tipsy before the welcome party, I was like, there is no way I'm gonna like any of these, because I felt bloated. And
I hated my outfit.
I liked your outfit.
No, I mean, I did like it. I didn't like the pants. The pants were, yeah.
Oh, I thought you looked good.
I had them rolled up.
But I was shocked when we got those back, and I didn't look like an actual beached whale. So that was great. That was a nice surprise. All right, something that we did that was a little bit different was a waterfall projection. So our reception was right off the pool deck, and there was this really pretty waterfall, and our guy at Encore gave us the idea to put a screen, like a mesh screen basically, behind that waterfall, and they could project onto it, so it looked like we were projecting onto the waterfall. That cost us $850. That was worth every penny. That was really cool.
And then they did we pay for strike on that? Because
I don't
they
think
kept it up through the rest of the wedding.
I think us as well as a few other people paid for strike on it, because I think they used it again.
They did. I mean, it was up. It was still there when we left.
Yeah. So then, Zach, I mentioned earlier, we did a pink washout of the entire building. We really wanted everything at the resort to be pink, whether everyone else at the resort wanted it or not, and it worked out really well in our favor, because it kind of like, let the whole resort know that we were having a wedding that night. And in turn, we had a bunch of people up at the bar whenever our reception was done, and they were ready to carry the party on. So they were like, the whole thing we made the whole resort our bitch, basically. Yeah. That was $1,738, worth every penny. That was really fun, and it made the pictures that much cooler. It looked like we brought Mr. to the beach.
There was another,
worth it.
It wasn't a wedding, but there was another party going on the other side of the resort.
And they left their party to come to our party.
Yeah.
We had a few little wedding crashers. It was kind of fun.
But
it was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, but they bought us gifts off our registry. So,
the wedding reception audio system was $495. Not bad. DJ, he was $200 an hour. We had him for 3 hours, $600. Not bad.
No. And he was great.
It was bad. Now, mind you, Zach, I wouldn't say this man wanted to DJ. And Zach said, here are the songs. Here's the order you're playing them in. Ready, set, go. And that's what that man did. But he did a great job at that.
He did.
The disco ball rigging and labor, so they were all suspended. I wasn't really sure how they were going to do this. They suspended them from palm tree to palm tree in like this little zigzag shape. And it looked great. That was $710. And then the AV bill taxes was an extra $1,000. So all that being said, now where do you think we're at?
44.5.
Dang it. $41,661.47.
Is your formula still right?
Yeah, I just checked it again.
Okay.
Okay, so that is all of the wedding stuff that you saw, if that makes sense. Like, that was direct wedding expenses. In total, that cost $41,661.47. Josh, you were right.
When
our room's not on there.
Nope.
In the room, I added an extra $5,000. I don't know if that's accurate.
So now I'll go into the other expenses. Zach's suit. Zach got a custom-made suit.
I can't wait for this to keep going.
This was before Indochino, and I wish we would have gone with Indochino because we could have gotten a bespoke suit for a fraction of what we ended up paying for a suit. We both got our suits from the same place, but I wanted mine to match his. It was like the same fabric, but different color. So, mind you, you know what Indochino cost. You can go on their website, look it up. It's a fraction of what we paid because what we paid per suit was $1,134.46.
You wanted to casually just put the "we" in there now. Zach wanted a custom suit, and Zach this,
mine
and
wasn't
Zach
custom.
that, and then you put "we."
Mine wasn't custom.
And
mine
mind
was
you,
off the rack.
off the rack, and we both paid.
Well, actually, mine was $100 cheaper, but I just didn't want to throw it in your face.
Wow, $100 to get my dog's name embroidered into the suit.
But at Indochino, you can do that for a fraction. I'm telling you, like, we could have gotten a lot more suits for what we paid per suit.
Your dad is.
My dad's got like 6.
Yeah,
he has one for literally every occasion. He's
like, I need one for
He has his name
your
in
brother's
one.
graduation.
No, he
for
does.
his wedding, for his wedding reception, our wedding. I'm sure he's got one for my 30th birthday.
He's gonna wear them all. I don't know if he'll wear them again, but he has our name in one. He has Tanner's graduation date in one. He has his wedding date in one. Like, the man just loves to embroider special dates and suits. So, go for it. Zach's shoes. I didn't get new shoes because I'm thrifty and I already had some.
And you already had them.
Brown shoes that I liked, but Zach's shoes were $1,131.21. That's kind of expensive, Zach.
So were yours. You just paid for them.
Well, they're not on this sheet.
Well, then you should add them. You paid for them back then.
What do you think your Etsy charges came out to? I went and looked this up this morning. I went on our bank account and I just typed in Etsy to see what Zach has spent from January to now. What do you think you spent on Etsy? And what did you buy on Etsy?
Koozies, drink stirs, drink toppers, save the dates, and
don't include save the dates in this. That's a separate line.
And the invitations?
A separate line. So just on like little like frilly things. Mind you, no, he also bought like custom like stamps, like wax stamps. He bought like 8 different logo versions of those.
I'd say $1,000.
He spent $1,191.83.
Yeah.
You're feeling real justified in all your purchases. This isn't how I thought this was going to go. Penis water bottles. Those were a necessity. Those were pulled out at customs. So I'm going to actually add an extra $30 to this number because I had to pay money to bring them into the country. The customs man, he unzipped my suitcase.
I don't want to talk about it.
And he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "What does it look like?" And he was like, "Oh," and then put it back in. He was like, "How much were these?" I was like, "At $5 a piece." And he was like, "Okay," and he calculated. So with import tax, you paid $127.08 for those, worth every penny. I think everyone threw theirs away. So offended. Actually, no, some people made it home with theirs. Invitations. This one wasn't terrible.
Sure wasn't. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
But we only sent invitations to people that we knew were coming to the wedding. If you do not respond to our save the date, you didn't get an invitation because the invitation was actually like per invitation, it was expensive. But we cut down on how many we were sending so that they could be a little more expensive. Those were $540.83.
And if I
for
had
75 of them?
Yes.
Mind you, it was a little passport, a custom passport that had like 6 different pages in it. Not bad, not terrible.
Not at 8. Yep, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they would have also cost. You like that? I took the ested out.
Thank you.
It would have cost probably $1,000 if I had Etsy do the whole thing.
Yes, Zach DIY'd some things. Save the dates were $362.10. Our save the date was a little airline ticket. It was really cute.
The boarding pass.
It was a boarding, yeah, the boarding pass.
I was thinking about this the other day. I by no means feel bad because I loved it, but I feel like Connor and Curtis, that would have been like perfect for them.
Oh yeah.
Too. We should do.
Zach has a bunch of like ideas.
Curtis, I have a great idea for you.
He has a bunch of ideas on the
I'm calling
vault
you right after
that
this.
he's about to unleash on Connor and Curtis's wedding.
We should call Curtis, and I should give him my idea.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let's get. Okay, do you want to call him right now?
No, we'll go through, but then we'll call him.
Okay. Parents' gifts. This was something we did. I don't know if it's necessarily like required. But Stephanie actually gave me this idea to get. I got Zach's mom a little gift, and he got my mom a little gift, and then we wrote them each a letter, and then we did the same thing for our dads. So on parents' gifts, we spent $344.24.
And dads, if you're listening, your gifts are on the way.
Zach has not even finished them yet.
I know. I'm decompressing from the wedding, but yes, your gifts are on the way.
Father's Day, I'm sure.
We have them. We just haven't completed them or shipped them yet.
They're in the budget. My dad is, I guarantee you, he's crossing off on the calendar each day you have not given him his gift.
Oh, God, he's probably charging me tax.
I bet he is.
My dad's like, I got a gift.
T-shirts. We did like little, what did they say? Groom crew.
Yeah.
Little gay shirts. The back said, this wedding's a little gay. We just really wanted the whole resort to know this is going to be a gay wedding, and they were all very excited once they found out. $352.92. Worth a little keepsake for people. Airfare. We spent $1,505.78 on airfare. Not terrible.
How much?
$1,505.
Total?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not bad.
$700 a piece. Not terrible. Our hotel. Okay. Here's the big thing. Our hotel room would have been a lot more expensive than it was had we not negotiated getting free nights in our upgraded room. Also, Marquee was wonderful. We had a junior suite, which was just like their basic room, the Tuesday that we came in. And then we were going to switch to our Big Daddy room the next day when everyone got there. They upgraded us for free to the Big Daddy suite when we arrived, so we didn't have to move. It was nice. We were able to unpack and like move into that as if it was our house for a week. It was also as big as our house. It was 2,000 square feet. It was absolutely massive, and it was wonderful. If you're getting married at Marquee, definitely get a casita, and also definitely don't pay for it. We put in our contract that we were getting 3 free nights. We ended up paying for 2 nights at our discounted rate because we stayed until Monday.
And we got there early.
Came there early. We got there on Wednesday. So in total, our hotel bill somehow ended up being exactly $2,000. Oh, something I did not realize that we have to pay for. This was in our photography contract, which I guess I didn't read. You have to provide your photographer and your videographers a meal. And so that is $38 a person. I did not realize that until the night before. He was like, hey, they're not going to feed us unless you tell them to feed us. And I was like, oh, absolutely. And then I was like, wait, they charge us for that? It's all inclusive, but that makes sense. So that was extra $38 a person. With that, in our 2 nights, it came out to $2,000 even. So with those things, that was an extra $10,000 almost to the dot in other expenses that we incurred that added to the wedding, but were not a direct result of the wedding. Now, some things that we did that were not necessarily, these were just kind of unique to us, but I'll tell you some of the things we did and what they cost. We did wedding party gifts. So on top of their t-shirt, we picked a signature scent for the guys and a signature scent for the girls. So the signature scent for the girls was, there's a Louis Vuitton fragrance, and it is the same scent they use in the store. So we bought each of the girls one of those, and then we went to Tom Ford and picked out a scent. For the guys, it was Tom Ford Oud Wood. Is that what it's called? Oud Wood, something like that. In total on those fragrances, we spent $2,820. So that was something that's not like necessary, just something we did that we liked, that we could send our wedding party home with to say thank you for spending this week with us. These 8 months with us. And it was just, something a little fun. Our bachelor trip. Okay, so we did a yacht day for our bachelor trip, and I would not change that for the world. That
It was great.
so much fun. Something we did not want to do was we're already hauling everyone to Mexico. I did not want to take someone on another trip. Like, it's going to be more expensive. So thankfully, God's gift to the earth herself, Stephanie Holman, paid for this yacht trip, and I think it was around $11,500. Her and Connor worked this out. Connor, he's like Mr. Mexico. He's in Cabo all the time with work, being a pilot. So he was kind of doing the negotiating. So maybe it was a little less than that. But we did a 4-hour yacht charter. It included a ton of food that we did not even eat, premium alcohol, a bunch of little water toys, all sorts of stuff, and then a 4-hour yacht journey. It was a 100-foot yacht. It was a big boy. But that was a lot of fun, and it was a great way to.
And that crew was amazing,
They
too.
were great. The whole thing, there was really not one thing I would change about an entire wedding experience. It was all wonderful. That was worth every penny. So we could have split that up, but Stephanie was generous enough to cover that, and that was a wonderful bachelor party. 4 hours, perfect time. And then we got back to the resort, and all the other guests were there, so it was wonderful. An officiant gift. So Lori was our officiant. She did not charge us for being our officiant. That was her gift to us, but I wanted to give her a gift to say thank you. So we bought her a little Louis Vuitton makeup bag. That was $1,033.78. I feel like it just felt appropriate to give her a gift because I know that was a lot of work on her part. She spent hours and hours and hours preparing all that, and then it just, I don't know, it felt nice. And then I don't even want to tell you what this cost.
This was Trey's idea.
So our whole thing was disco balls, and I did not get new shoes for the wedding. So I wanted to get these white and silver rhinestone Louboutin sneakers because I don't want everyone to hear this. I wanted to get these white and silver rhinestone Louboutin sneakers to change into after the reception because I didn't want to, wear my uncomfortable brown shoes all night long.
And see, mine were so comfortable. You should have gotten new ones.
Mine were comfortable too, but I just didn't want to wear those all night long, and I wanted to wear something different. So we bought a pair for each of us. And then I was like, what would be fun is if we bought these for our best man and our maid of honor. And so I bought them for my best man and maid of honor. And then Zach was like, what about mine? And I was like, okay. So then I went and bought 2 more pair. So that was an unnecessary extra expense that I don't want to talk about. I'm not going to tell you how much those cost. If you want to go look it up, they were the Louis Strass Jr. or something like that. And then I ended up jumping in the pool with mine. But they're fine. In my suit. Oh, yeah. Oh. I know. Oh, that's your fault.
It is so not my fault.
You know what we're thinking? We're talking to each other right now silently. I have not got my suit dry cleaned.
And it stinks.
Where is it?
Your closet.
Oh. Okay, great. Well, but the shoes dried nicely. So all in all, with the Louboutins, I can tell you that we spent a grand total of $77,615.33. And I feel like that does not include all the Amazon purchases. I could not find the patience in myself to go through our Amazon bills, but we're going to say it was roughly about $78,000.
Crushed it.
I guess.
Well, we're going to take 8 off for your purchase. We're going to take... Yeah, so I went 10 over. Oh, wait, and the yacht I didn't pay for. So I was right on, 60.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, that was the... Okay. Mm-hmm.
This is where the fireworks and the Zach was under.
Oh my gosh! Also, that was the other thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Someone else had fireworks that night of our reception at the wedding next door, and we kind of got credit for those, which was really nice because fireworks are expensive. It's not like your little side of the highway fireworks stand. They want $2,500 for a 45-second show. So one of the big things that Lori told us after the wedding was there's kind of that like, the wedding's over lull, that you spent all this time planning this amazing party and then it's done. You're like, now what? Well, our now what is that my best friend Connor and our friend Curtis are getting married. So we're not in that lull. Zach's kind of into I can plan another wedding without a budget and be totally fine. What are you doing over there?
I was chewing ice.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what I love about this wedding is every time we talk about budgets, Curtis is like, what's that?
Yeah, and I was like, you better watch yourself because Zach will take that and run to the hills with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, so let's give Connor a call and see if you can provide your input for Curtis's wedding. Big mistake. Well,
okay. So
since they didn't answer, what was your idea?
I'll just tell you, and they can listen and be so surprised. So for their save the date, we should do real estate yard signs for all of their guests and have them put in their front yard, save the date. You love it. You know you do.
Okay.
You don't hate it.
That's pretty good.
It is.
The only reason I
And then for their
really like
formal
that?
invitation, they should all be delivered by horses.
Oh, okay. For sure. The thing I like most about that is that you don't have to deal with USPS.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, we'll have to fly to Connecticut to put them in
His parents'
yard. But yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a good one.
Crushed
it. Love that. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like Beyonce would be so proud.
I'm glad you got that in there.
All of my great ideas.
I'm glad you got that in there. All right. Well, that is what our wedding cost. That is us being transparent, except for about the Louboutins, about what our whole wedding experience cost. So if you're trying to,
So if you're good with math and you were following along with all the numbers, the one number he didn't put in there, but he put in the total, was just subtract them.
yeah. So there you go. That's what it costs. Those of you who are curious, we cannot say enough good things about Marquis Los Cabos and Ludo and our wedding coordinator. So I did look up what is like the top 5 things that people feel like are not worth the money. And 44% of people said a wedding planner was not worth the money. But our wedding coordinator, day of coordinator, Oscar, he was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And he was included in that $1,800 that we paid. So there you go.
He was so good.
He was wonderful. Well, thank you so much for listening to the Mr. Mr. Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram at Trey_Stewart.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Zach_Luker.
And you can follow us on YouTube at the Mr. Mr. Podcast.
Bye.